What is one random thing that you silently judge everyone for? The lack of spatial awareness on public transport, in particular people that won't just move up to use space more efficiently, or will stand in the way of other people, or get on public transport as if they were the only ones. Disrespecting the teacher when he is genuine at teaching and has a good sense of humor. People who park crooked when the lines are highly visible and straight. When you are alone with a friend and he/she stumbles on another friend and doesn't introduce you to them. Like, dude, WTF. How they maneuver a shopping cart. How greedy someone is with food that isn't theirs. I hate it when someone takes too much of something at a potluck or somewhere with food. Walking in the city and suddenly stopping to text should be an automatic prison sentence. Step aside first, FFS. Making fun of other people's music while they are listening to it is pretty shitty emo. Playing music loudly through their phone speaker in public. Littering, leaving shopping carts all over the place. Motorcyclists revving up in a tunnel with pedestrians around. People who drive slowly on the inside lane. Giving 1000 excuses rather than apologizing and swiftly fixing their mistake. Well, I was going to finish the report, but then things came up and I had to do this other thing for someone else, and then this morning there was a lot of traffic, so I got in late and I spilled my coffee when they could have just said, "Oh sorry, I wasn't able to finish it. Let me go pull that together right now." Walking around having a conversation on your cell phone on speaker, holding it like it was a piece of pizza. No one wants to hear your conversations and you look like an idiot. Get some earphones or talk in private somewhere. PC/laptop desktop cleanliness. If someone gives their child an iPad in a public place with the volume turned all the way up, I immediately hate them. If they have zero control over their dog, bonus points if it's a little ankle biter and they think it's okay because the thing is small. How they discipline their kids. Not properly washing their hands in public toilets. Walking slowly in crowded places. Chewing with their mouth open. Shudders. Breathing. When they inappropriately keep checking their phone during meetings or when having a one-on-one with someone at a restaurant. Totally rude. The way they treat waiters or people in service industry jobs. Not being able to manage their money. Not so silently sometimes though. People talking like their opinions are facts when it's not. If they murder people or not. When they insist on something without knowing the reason for it. If you can't think of a better reason to do something than that's how it's done, then I'm gonna assume there is no good reason to do it. Wearing AirPods like an accessory. Walking wrong side of the road. Their sense of humor. I'm an avid lover of dark and inappropriate humor myself and have a few favorites I got from here on Reddit. But there is a time and place for it. People who see a serious situation and take the piss out of it without thinking just don't sit well with me. People who take zodiac signs seriously. If they use a regardless. Not returning the shopping carts to an appropriate space. Smoking. Definitely smoking. I like my lung cancer chances preferably at the minimum. Having bumper stickers. Doesn't matter what they say, if I'm driving behind someone with a bumper sticker I'm judging. Driving ability. Their smell. I keep pretty good tabs on how selfish people are, both when it comes to their private life and how they feel about society. I shouldn't do this, but I judge people based on how obnoxiously loud their car is. I know there's some situations where it's not the owner's fault, but more often than not I see people who have these cars where they've tricked out the muffler or the engine or something and made it unbearably loud with the sole person of being annoying and getting attention. I don't know what people are trying to prove with that. People who don't budge or move at all in the shops or supermarket when they can see you approaching to go past them and there's no or little space left or right. And when you politely say excuse me, they move 1 millimeter and then they make you feel like the bad one when you try to squeeze past them. Ordering an espresso. The volume that someone speaks when they first meet/introduced themselves to you. I silently judge people who sing out loud at the gym. Nobody is even close to a 8/10. Sat. Flicking a cigarette onto the ground. Propping their shopping cart on the curb or leaving it in a handicapped zone. Not thanking waiters/waitresses when they bring something to the table. Stopping right in the goddamn middle of a doorway to do whatever, talk, decide where they're going, tie a shoe, etc. People who have kids that they can't afford. The speed at which they walk. Obesity. I'm sure they're a lovely person, but the sight of rolls and rolls of gluttony covering their body viscerally disgusts me. People who act stupid when they aren't. I'm doing good. No. Superman does good. You're doing well. Hat turned to the side. It is nice to have the indicator from a distance that you're opposed though. People who talk about others behind their back to me. People who take up the whole sidewalk with no situational awareness of anybody else, even if you're right in front of them. People who leave a fitting room a mess, and people who, when checking out, ask for more discounts and deals. ML signature set in Comic Sans. People who bring their uncontrollable pack of children to the supermarket with them. You don't need your entire family to go to the supermarket. How they pronounce the word chorizo. The type of music they listen to. I silently judge people based on how they silently judge other people. Incorrect usage of less and fewer. Smoking. Trump supporters. I have just seen so much of his bullshit and I don't understand how someone can still support this loser. If they have a toddler with pierced ears. People who don't think before they speak. Like not just with meaningful conversations, but in any general talk. Their body language. People playing music on their phones and carrying Bluetooth speakers on a fucking hiking trail in a secluded area. I often see groups with multiple different members playing different music. I'm going to start carrying a pistol and a shovel when I go hiking. People who get off the escalator and just stop then and there, blocking everyone behind them trying to get off without dying. Using the wrong words. I know a few people who will talk about a gaming console, but refer to it as a gaming console. When they board the bus, and they have to pay in cash, but stand in the fucking front, so everybody with a bus card that just have to be scanned have to wait. Drives me up the fucking wall. If you need 30 seconds to buy a ticket, stand in the back of the line, so the rest of us can get in first. Talking on the phone, while being rung up by the cashier. Yesterday the woman in front of me paused her phone conversation, glared at the cashier for asking if she'd like something backdoor left out, then loudly apologized to the person on the phone, while rolling her eyes at the cashier. Common courtesy. Do you hold doors for people, return your cart, clean up after yourself at fast food places, etc. People that don't drive me nuts, and in most cases I'll call you out on it. I know I drive my employees nuts in the office, because I have no tolerance for similar shit at work. Leaving the water cooler empty, leaving printers empty, leaving trash around, etc. Pick up after yourself. Your fellow employees aren't there to wipe your ass. Not using turn signals or tailgating. People bringing kids to the theater. They ruin everyone's experiences. This might get some hate, but I kind of judge fat people. Especially the ones making excuses for themselves. I can at least respect someone that says they know they're fat, it's bad, but they don't care enough to fix themselves. I have my shortcomings, which I tend to work on more or less, based on how much I care to. But people that say they would do anything to have an athletic body, except, you know, eat well and work out, yeah, get out of here with the excuses. Or the people insisting that fat is beautiful and I should find them sexually attractive? I don't, and I'll never do. It's not attractive at all. The noises people make when drinking tea or coffee, the loud slurping the RS make me need to put my headphones on the highest volume, because I literally can't. If they are not wearing safety gear on a motorbike or a helmet on a push bike, I'm weird with safety in bikes apparently. Personal hygiene. Saying everything. How they walk and drive. It bugs me when people don't act like they have somewhere to be. People who blast their music while driving. There's literally no reason to listen to songs on an obnoxiously loud volume. It's so obvious people who do this want others to acknowledge their presence. They want others to look in their direction or directly at them as they drive by, which subconsciously fills their need for attention. Their shoes. It is one of the first things I notice about anyone. I silently judge other Asians on how they hold their chopsticks. Being too religious that they can't even freely compare religions just for a search, or make Jesus jokes out of respect. Being a god, or son of one, I don't think Jesus would be that petty to get angry over a joke. Also, I will compare Jehovah's and Catholics on their religion, and it will be okay. They shouldn't care. We are lucky to be living in a time today that we can even talk about other religions freely without being excommunicated. A time in which religion doesn't run the world. If you're new here, hey, how are you doing? If you're subscribed, hey, how are you doing? It's very good to see you. If you are new, and you too want an extra greeting at the end of each episode, subscribe. Anyway, see you next time.